Call this meeting to order. Let's do a roll call, please.
All right, James Long.
Here.
Kathy Cordes.
Here.
Justin Courtney. Mike Monahan.
Here.
Dan Newton.
Here.
H.C. Patel.
Here.
Verla Raines.
Here.
Stephen J. Gintley. Cheryl Paget. All right.
All right. Doesn't look like we have anyone here for public comments. So no public comments. Can we have the consideration approval of the minutes from the previous meeting on Monday, May 15th? Do we have anyone to make a motion for that?
I've read them. I will move to accept.
Second.
All right. First and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And they carry. All right. Discussion of current financial status.
All right, there are some larger versions of the report, because I know the ones in your packet are
Minuscule.
yes, very hard to read. So grab those if you need to.
Brought it up so I can more.
And
I
just
know.
trust what you
No
said.
good.
I know that we pulled, which is something I need to change, we pulled special events, we pulled OIBF off of special events last meeting, put that under marketing, that's pending, and then the last one that we're expecting, the last application, which I actually got last Friday, but it was too late to get on this agenda, was the one for Guthrie Escape. So I'll be bringing that back before you in July. Other than that, we've got uncovered balance of around $29,000 in our marketing supplies. In our special events, uncovered balance of around $4,000. And in conventions and trade shows, uncovered balance of around $5,000. Do you have any questions about this report?
I point out that the professional services at 10,000 is freed up now.
Yeah. From the end of the OSU tourism study, so. Thanks, Lori.
So there is funding to finish out the year doing the same thing you did last year. There's more than that, but there's at least enough.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? How are we seeing, I know that oil and gas seems to be really crowding things again, so are you seeing at your hotels that occupancy is up?
Occupancy is not up, but oil and gas is very up. That's the only business I have.
Okay.
Yep. I have a long-term crew.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've got several people in my apartments that are furnished that are all it's all oil and gas people. So I was just
and I think
curious.
the other motels are about the same, but per se, occupancy for tourism or other events is not where it should be.
Okay, so not even for the summer months, you didn't see?
Not
May.
well, we haven't quite started yet. Not too much.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have any questions? No questions? Okay. No action needed on that item. Discussion of possible action on fiscal year 2017 budget amendment.
Okay, so this was taking the $10,000 from the OSU tourism study and recommending some places to move it. $1,500 towards professional development, which there's not a line item for yet. That's broken out down below at the bottom of that sheet. It includes some site visits, mileage, some trainings, book, things that I identified might be helpful in getting me on my feet so I can be better and more smooth at this job. I made it a little higher than that number in case I hear of any other courses or things available between now and the end of the budget year where I could come in and add those, or I wouldn't miss out on those anyway.
Okay.
Also, special events, we could move $2,000 into that in case, so we would still, you know, if Guthrie Escape, we awarded them $1,500 last year. If we award them more this year, we'd have plenty of money to still take in any year-end events that wanted to apply for funds. Equipment and materials, again, there's not a line item for this, but there's an item on down on our budget to ask about the purchase of a digital camera. And then we could add the rest into marketing supplies. Moving this money doesn't mean we have to spend it in these areas, but it gives us the official capacity to.
We still have money in marketing supplies, don't we?
We do, that's the one that's around $29K.
So I mean, this budget carries us through September.
September 30th, yes.
So I don't know that. I mean, I don't know. Do you see that we would spend all the 20,000 plus the additional almost $5,000 in marketing supplies?
Well, if we're doing development of an app, and if we do a redesign of the brochure, this would allow us to do a redesign of the brochure. And I mean, we might have that in there, but I wish I'd had time to do more research on how many more rounds of printing we'll have, but I know we'll need at least 10,000 more brochures by the end of the year. I'm on my last box of the ones we ordered last time. So, so we may even do 3 prints to carry us through because we've got fall events coming up that use quite a bit of our brochures. So I know each printing round we do, I want to say costs $2,000 to $3,000.
I'd say put it in there, that way if we need it. If we don't, if we come to the point we aren't, see we're not going to use it, it can be moved again, right?
It can.
Yeah.
And then since we're in the process of doing a new budget, are we going to create these accounts for the new budget year for the next fiscal year?
Well, I don't know if it depends how it goes with equipment and materials,
Okay.
but professional development probably.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on this? Are there any changes or anything you'd like to see different?
What? So the digital camera, so you can, I'm guessing, take pictures of events, or what do we need the digital camera for?
Well, the digital camera, right now Aaron Ryburn only has video cameras, so if we take any footage of things, he has to try to capture stills, which takes a long time and they're lower quality. Cameras would let us have with the camera, Keith can go out, I can go out, and we own that product. I don't have to go and get copyright and waiver and contract with anybody to use those images on our website or on any of our marketing media. They're high quality, and so it allows us the capacity to do that, which right now we're just taking pictures on our phones and begging people to use their pictures
So,
with Reddit.
Does this digital camera have a video option?
It
too?
does.
That just seems really high. I know SLR camera.
Yeah.
I know SLR cameras
Yeah.
are
That's
high,
actually,
but I bought one recently.
That's actually-
anything
that's a
close
pretty
to
cool-
well,
that.
that's not just a camera, I mean.
That's what I'm
when
saying.
you-
What else does
I
that
mean, I don't know if you want to jump to that, but
Do
I
you
mean,
want to jump
it's,
to number 8? Because it talks about the camera there.
Okay, well, so I guess we can, sure.
Okay. All right, so I had Aaron Ryburn, since he's the media guy, do some research on cameras. He talked also with Chris Evans and Heath and several other people. He wanted a camera that was a high-end professional camera that would yield images that were that would be high enough quality for web, for print, for large banners and publications that aren't stills or that we don't have to purchase, and that we can go out and take when we're at events. Something we can send with staff. It's portable. I priced. He got about 4 options for me. I'm trying to find my page here with it.
I guess my question too is, because I know you say we're currently asking people if we can use their photos, but in all honesty, is staff going to be able to be where to get those great shots? Like sometimes I think, that, I mean, what is the chance of staff always being there to get that amazing shot that we like, that we see online, or that's going to be able to just get it? Yeah, I mean,
Bob Bozarth has done professionally.
I mean, I just don't know. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying I'm opposed to it. I'm just thinking that sometimes those images that people will get on their phones or whatever, it's just they happen to be in that moment. They
But here's the
that
thing:
moment.
if you capture that moment with this kind of camera versus a phone, you're going to be able to use this on a banner or a billboard or something, because if you catch it on your phone, there's no way that DPI is going to stretch out. And I sound like I know what I'm talking about.
It's a
but-
whole other
but
use.
it's not going to stretch out if we happen to get that.
Well, and also, it doesn't mean you can't get permission to use the other ones. You're not
That's true.
You're not going
Yeah.
to forego that, but it also gives you opportunity to take some of your own.
I do see your point with some of the staff time, but I know right now it's taking a lot of staff time to figure out who took it, contact them, get something lined out, and then I've got maybe an ad deadline, and it's a process where sometimes I have to forego using a good picture that I really would have liked because the process of getting permissions is slow.
Sure.
So, I mean, I do see your point with that, though. That is, we don't have a great big staff that goes out and takes photos.
I wouldn't be opposed to this as long as it's only a couple of people that are using the camera. I wouldn't want to check it out to just anybody.
No, I think it would be Heath and I
Yeah.
and Aaron,
Yeah.
mostly. I would trust Aaron with discretion. I know he's got a volunteer, Bill Miracle, and occasionally he works with other people. This would be housed with Aaron's equipment, so it would be housed in a secure location. Finally found the page. He priced 2 Nikons at over $2,000. The reason he chose this 1550 one was it comes with the memory cards, backpack case, video light, microphone, which he would use this camera to do the tourism videos, which would be a higher quality than what he produces with the cameras he has now. UV filters for outdoors and lighting. There's a picture of the equipment. Spare battery pack, chargers, card reader, grip. I priced this same camera, since it's over $1,000, at a few other places, and it was a little bit cheaper, but it didn't come with all the goods. By the time you get the video accessories and the camera accessories, that seemed to be our best value.
On the extra lenses.
So my question is, on the agenda you've got from Amazon.com, on your thing you've got attached is B&H Photo Video as the vendor.
And Best Buy
Well,
and
then
Amazon.
the
It's
three
the
are
same
listed.
camera priced.
She priced it at these 3 places.
Oh, they're all-
This is
okay.
the one she's talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
These 2 just don't come with all the accessories, and they're at the same
Okay.
price.
Yeah, so I got quotes on 3 different,
Oh,
well, I actually got
okay,
quotes
I
on
looked
4
at the-
different
okay.
cameras.
My
I
bad.
should have separated it out so it was a
No,
little
you're-
clearer.
And did you check Canon
And
website
it's-
at all?
But you can't buy
You
directly
can't,
from
yeah.
Yes, you can.
No, you
Not at
can't.
that price.
Okay.
Because I've just bought a Canon EOS digital SLR, and
No.
I got it at Best Buy, but it wasn't this fancy. Didn't have all that extra stuff.
There's a lot of lenses
I'm not a
included.
professional.
Yeah.
There is, we can get anything from really wide
I looked on
shots.
Canon's website, you can't get it.
Yeah. I mean, for the price and what you're getting, I mean, I'm gonna say it's your best bang for your buck, just for what all comes in the package, so. I mean, because those SD cards, I just bought 2 and they're $60. So you're at $120 just on 2 cards in the package right there, so.
Okay. So in conjunction with the discussion of budget amendment, we've also got the number 8 in there. Almost as if we approved the budget amendment, we've already approved number 8.
That's what it looks like to me.
So I guess we have to take that into consideration. Do we want to, can we approve it by line, or do we just want, is it all, I mean, all or nothing? I'm all about the professional development. I'm fine with this, the special events. I'm fine with the marketing. The camera's mine on the reservation. I'm just curious.
Well, it is a one-time expense. I'm assuming it's going to benefit other items as well, introducing other
Yeah,
things.
it would probably be used in economic development as well for producing those pieces. I know Aaron doesn't have a great big equipment budget, and so this was my way, since I knew that we'd probably be using it a lot for our stuff. It was an opportunity for that. I mean, I'm not trying to, just take it out of somewhere it doesn't belong. I really think that we would be the ones who used it the most. Since we do, advertising and marketing materials.
Okay.
Yeah, I think print quality can make a big difference, and especially if you're doing anything, blowing anything up, as Kathy was talking about. I think this gives you the best options, and it's going to be used for a number of years.
Okay, so am I right in the fact that if we approve number 5, then 8 is a moot point?
I wouldn't say so, because you're actually just moving it to equipment and materials. You're allocating money for that could go towards other equipment or materials.
Okay.
Other tools. What I put below was, ideas of what would be included in that.
Okay.
I mean,
Exactly.
my professional development is broken out, but.
So if we approve the amended budget with that line item, and then we get to number,
8.
whatever it is, 8, and don't approve it, we still got $1,500 in equipment materials.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so any other questions regarding the budget amendment? All right, do I have a motion to approve this budget amendment?
I'll make a motion.
A second.
Okay, we have first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All not in favor? All right, so item number 6, discussion of post-event report for 2016 Guthrie Escape.
It's not in this.
I don't-
It was on our.
Yeah.
It was on the-
It was
Let
on
me
the-
pass it around. Sorry.
It's huge.
Whole bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
there's a lot of
Lots of
Yeah.
newspaper clippings and
I
stuff.
was happy to see the
Yeah.
printout, copies of it.
this is your packet. I probably should have made at least one copy for you all to pass around. There was a letter. They had highlights about their events, what it all encompassed. They have proof of use of both the city logo and Guthrie Tourism logo on their advertising. Mentions all of the advertising and marketing they did. And their paid invoices for KFOR, some advertising they did at KFOR. And I'll pass this around.
Okay.
Do we
Have
have
any
any
discussion on it?
just something that she's shared at the merchant meetings is that they say that the TV advertisement, they feel really boosted their attendance last year. So,
Did they say at the merchants meeting how they feel about attendance going to be, since it's going to be on a non-weekend of the?
no, but I think we have a merchant meeting this Friday, since it's before everything that's happening for the 4th of July. We're not having a meeting in July, so we're doing it this Friday. And I think we're going to talk about that, because I think that'll also give us accurate numbers down the road. Down the road, because that's what Tracy was saying. We'll really get to see how many bluegrass people come into town, and then we'll really get to see how many people are just here for Guthrie Escape. So.
Well, it was a banner year last year.
Yeah, and they've touted a lot of that to their TV advertising that they did. So.
I know that it was too early for this, but you said you do have their application for next year.
Yes,
Could I be guessing the fact that you bumped this up a little bit is that they're asking for more than the 1,500 for last year?
they are, yes.
Well, I appreciate them putting that together. That's some good stuff. All right, how about discussion of post-event Chris Neal's Future Stars of Calf Roping?
I have that as well, just a page of advertisements, and then their invoices for hotels, which they stayed at the Hampton Inn and Suites. Do you mind if I start this way?
All right.
Okay.
I was gonna look to see if they had a picture of the shoot that you were talking about.
I forgot to bring that.
Yeah.
I went out to this event on Memorial Day, and I was really sort of dismayed to see on one of the shoots, it said, "Come shop Edmund," on the shoot. Guthrie was on their advertising, but there weren't more than 100 people out there Memorial Day at this event. So it just seems to me awful big expense for us when we don't even get the prime thing over the shoot that they're chasing the calves out of it.
But we don't know what Edmund gave them.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I mean,
it said welcome to Edmund in a Guthrie arena.
That was here at the downtown, or the?
No.
At the Lazy E one that we gave them $2,000 for their hotel rooms for.
I know we did that saying
But
that we
was it
wouldn't
a-
require them to advertise. That was,
And I understand that, but it's still,
And wasn't the rooms a reimbursement?
yeah, that's what
So it wasn't an actual
yeah.
yeah.
gift. So.
Do you want that? Is that going that way or going that way? I mean, that's my only thing. Yes, he spent $2,000 and he put heads in beds, but I just thought it was really, and I don't know if he had that kind of attendance of people watching all weekend like that, but I was just a little astonished to see.
That's a big arena just for 100 people.
Yeah.
It also looks like it was live. If you look at this,
I mean, don't get me wrong,
that's a live webcast.
he had thousands, he probably did have 600 to 1,000 cowboys out there and cowgirls
Participating.
participating, but not literally watching the event.
Usually watching it just with the parents.
Yeah, but I mean, it was all at the one end where the shoot was. I mean, I went as far away as I could to get a shot of the cattle roping and everything. I didn't have to go but 4 sections down. And they weren't sitting up in the bleachers up top, and they weren't sitting on the other side. And they had 2 shoots running, but they had no one on the other side watching the other shoot.
So Andrew, besides what we're gonna pay Hampton Inn, did they have any additional rooms besides that?
What do you mean exactly?
Like, okay, those are the rooms we're paying for, the CVP paid for. So did they book, or were there any other additional rooms for the Chris Neal Rodeo?
I'd have to check. I know that they,
I'd be curious if they just booked the $2,000, or did they book $4,000 and we're only
Well-
reimbursing for $2,000?
Over Thanksgiving, that's what they booked at my place.
Was what you gave them?
Yeah, I had probably 2 or 3 additional rooms, that's it, over Thanksgiving.
I guess that's my,
Yeah.
if we're putting heads in beds, so they taking the 2,000 we're giving them, and are they running admin for a better hotel rate?
No, well, for that 2,000, they had to use it
Yeah,
here.
or are they,
Yeah,
But
but
where they put?
what's
I
the
mean, if there's-
extra? Are there any, where
Or
are there
didn't
any?
you say there were tons of sleepers out there?
and there are, I mean, I'm telling you, I wish I could travel around the country with the way those guys do. Now, I will tell you, they probably came, that Saturday night, I was coming home from church, you couldn't get into Staples. So I will tell you, they probably came into some of the restaurants, because the line out Staples at 5:30 at night was all cowboys.
Yeah.
I probably averaged, I think, Friday, about 5 rooms, about 5, 6 rooms on Saturday. And then I had a couple which stayed over because it was bad weather in Kansas, where instead of going home, it was snowbound. It was snowing like southwest Kansas, so they got stuck here.
That's my 10 cents worth. I just think,
I'll check with Hampton and see if there was any rooms. If
Any
there
other
were
motels
rooms
as well,
booked over,
you know.
yeah.
because you know he's gonna come back at Thanksgiving and ask for more. He's gone to the well twice,
Well, and the thing is, it's not, a lot of times, like, they book it from other ways as well, the motels. Because I know there's one guy who booked last time on Thanksgiving and this time through a travel agency in New York. You know, which has nothing, he came for Chris Neal Rodeo, but he was using an outside source.
Sure. So this was Memorial Weekend. How was
Yeah.
what was hotel occupancy look like on Memorial Weekend?
It's usually pretty quiet anyway. It's a great thing we do have this activity, but we just need more business from it.
One of the things too we might ask, you know, you mentioned Staples. I know I'm pretty sure Debbie's able to get some pretty intricate numbers from her credit card processing as far as zip coding and things like that. It would be interesting to see if she would be willing to share with us what maybe some of those weekends would look like. Because if anybody's going to get that business, I would say it's going to be Debbie. As far as the in-town merchants.
oh yeah. Yeah, because they'll park their trailers at the bank across the street over at Newt's, and they walk across the street and they eat. Trust me, there's only so much you can eat that lazy eat concession food before you get.
Before you're broke, you don't have to get anything else.
Well, if you want to go broke, you should have gone to the Vintage Fair this weekend with the food trucks out there.
Okay, discussion on possible action to authorize the purchase of a digital camera for $1549 from Amazon.com.
Huh?
That's a lot of,
So we discussed it. Does anybody have any other questions, or does anybody want to make a motion on it?
I make a motion.
We have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, so everyone in favor, say aye. Everyone opposed, say aye. Aye. I oppose it, but that's okay. I'm a single man out here.
So the first photo is me, second photo,
Test, it's the test.
just test the camera right off.
test the
bat.
camera right off the
I don't want it broke.
Okay, motion carried. Item 9, discussion and possible action to provide sponsorship of 2 school buses to bring National Little Britches Rodeo attendees to Red Brick Nights.
Okay, this was something proposed by the chamber, and we kind of took it and ran with it. And so there's an option of a couple buses through the school that we could sponsor, pay for a driver and mileage. And the option is they can go to the Lazy E, they can pick up, it'd be 2 drivers running simultaneously, the Lazy E, 2 trips. There's a capacity of 50 people per bus to bring them downtown on July 1st. Now we have Red Brick Nights, we have the fireworks show. I know a lot of things aren't open, but one of the ideas is once they walk the downtown, they kind of get an idea of things they may want to come back and see during the week. It's also something pretty welcoming for families. I think the total cost, I know at $372.60, I didn't calculate really what it might take for them to get back from the Lazy E after the drop-off and park the buses in the barn, so it'd be a little closer to $400 for the total. With about 75% occupancy, the buses would about pay for itself with charging adults $3 a piece or kids for $2 a piece. If we want to have somebody on the bus,
That's
which
what
I
said,
could do
who's
that
gonna take
too.
the money?
I'd go with a money bag and I'd stamp hands, or we can just decide we want to sponsor this and do it. And if we do that, then we don't have to send somebody on the bus, and we can, but the other thing is, I know that the chamber's running some signups for it. If we don't have very much interest, if we have under a dozen people, we can cancel up to the date so that we're up to, I think, a week out or so.
Covers the insurance for that?
You said who covers
I
the
mean,
insurance?
like the liability or whatever.
That's a good
I'm
question.
guessing the school bus, I'm guessing the school has that when they, for
I
special
want to let the
events.
chamber stop paying for this. This is a chamber event.
It's a CVB event.
It's a chamber event.
Red Brick Nights,
Red Brick
isn't it?
Nights is not a CVB, a chamber event.
And we,
But
I
how
know the
much-
chamber is involved with the
We
Red
just-
Brick
The
Nights
chamber
because
went to
they
the
are-
school board though and asked for the buses. We did. So why did they not go knowing that they had the funding in advance?
We just trying to volunteer and work a program out where we would get the lazy people into town.
I think this would be an opportunity too for a business or two like Staples or Edward Jones or somebody to sponsor part of this and make up some of those funds too. It's a thought.
I mean, it's a red brick night thing that we've already given money to. We've already paid for the insurance for the fireworks. So this is a chamber thing. They went to the school board and asked for the buses. Did they go knowing they didn't have the money? I don't see it as a tourism thing in all reality because Little Britches doesn't start till the 4th of July. And unless we have a commitment that there's 100 or 200 people willing to come in town on the school buses, I don't see the validity of it, that CVB should be giving them
What do
money.
they have, 6,000 participants? Is that what they're coming with?
I was wondering though.
Starting on the 4th, yes.
Starting on the
Yeah,
4th.
but
This is July
supposedly
1st.
Saturday.
But see, the only people that are gonna be in town are the Queen candidate, like just all the few, I'm gonna say few, but it's gonna be more than, it's a couple hundred. But just the people that are here early for, like the Queen candidates, and, because they've moved all that to the very beginning. So there's not gonna be your 6,000 people here on the 1st. And I do know at our business council meeting, which was last Thursday, there was only one family signed up on this early sign-up registry, saying that they would get on the bus and come into town. So,
That's good to know.
and the listed, I think, had been out there for 2 weeks, because she sent it to Little Britches, and Little Britches put it on their Facebook and emailed it out to their people. And so as of a week ago, there was only one family signed up that they would be willing to get on the bus and come into town. So, what time does this bus even run?
Well, leave Guthrie, the 2 buses would leave Guthrie at 5:30 and 2 would leave again after dropping them off. At 7:30. So.
and then they both, at 11 o'clock, both take people back out there.
And
Something like that.
I guess the other concern is what you're saying, it's Saturday night, it's 4th of July weekend. It's gonna be Red Brick Nights, we're gonna have this big fireworks show.
That's why we
The
want-
businesses aren't gonna be open for them to see what they wanna come back in town the next week in between their rodeo events to shopping.
Well, my question is, the people that's already out there, if they knew that there was a fireworks show that night, would they probably just drive themselves on in anyway? I mean, how many people are we gonna capture in on a bus because they don't want to drive? I mean, these people have driven hundreds of miles, I'm sure, to get here.
Yeah, but they don't know what the parking's like down here, then they do
Well-
it just because they don't know what the parking's like.
They have beautiful pickup trucks they could drive down.
Yes.
Well, I know, but
They
they don't
have
know where to
beautiful
park.
big pickup
I
trucks.
know, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying if it were me, I'd get on the bus because I wouldn't know where to park when I got to town.
My first question was just that it's so far from the board, that people are just getting there maybe, setting up their camp,
So,
seeing old friends. I don't know if we have the numbers to need 2
Well,
buses.
so maybe we approve it and we can not do it if nobody signs up. I don't know.
I think there is a good.
We don't have to
you know,
approve it, yeah.
There's the out, if you don't have enough people to fill a bus.
We
As long as
can't,
you make sure that the people that are signing up know that,
right.
that there is a minimum, and if we don't
Yeah.
reach 20 or whatever it is, that the service isn't going to be provided.
I think there's
a certain amount of goodwill gesture
That's
that's
it.
involved with this too, and they got 4 more years.
Well, then let the chamber show their goodwill and they can pay for the $380.
Wasn't there a survey done of what they wanted to do?
There was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Was coming to Red Brick Nights one of those?
No. Well, I don't know if that was even on the side.
I was thinking
I think-
swimming and fishing
It was
were the
swimming,
priorities.
bowling, fishing, and drive-in were the 4 priorities.
So we're giving one bus ride. It's 3 days before the event starts, and it's not tied to the things that they said were their priorities as far as what they'd like to come down to.
I don't think we did Red Brick Nights was.
I don't know, I never saw the survey. I know that, I mean, the survey went out through the chamber.
Well, we're just, basically this is to promote, get those people who are out there into Red Brick Nights.
I know, but on the survey, what was on the survey that the chamber sent out to Little Britches to see what they wanted to do in Guthrie?
Those were the main ones, yeah.
But was Red Brick, what was on the survey? I mean, did you just leave it open-ended and say,
I
what
just
do you
don't,
want to do?
I don't think that group of people is a high group of people that utilize public transportation. I think those people are, I'm not trying to categorize them, but essentially they're individuals that are used to driving wherever they go. I mean, me personally, I don't want to be caught stranded somewhere. I'm going to take my car. But I'm not a person that relies heavily on
Yeah, I don't.
public transit. So.
And see, my thing is, I don't know.
And
either.
most of these people live in probably more rural areas that they don't have public transit. They're used to jumping in their truck and.
I mean, and are they
Driving.
used to pulling up to the Lazy E and hooking their trailer? I mean, that's my thing is, once they get there, do they stay attached to their trailer? Do they unhook from their trailer? I mean, I don't know.
Unhook. There's a whole camp. They'll unhook and they will come into town probably during the course of July 4th through July 10th. But they'll also be pretty self-sufficient in those trailers out there and be able to cook out them. And, I mean, it's almost bigger with their trailers than the campgrounds at Bluegrass Festival where they all cook out there. I mean, they're almost more self-sufficient out at Lazy E.
You know, some of those, I used to photograph for Sundowner trailers, and some of those trailers are.
Well, could we just really
They're
do
not
it?
roughing it.
Could we really do just a really good promotion so that they know the first night they get there, there's fireworks in town if they come, music and fireworks?
Well, see, I think that's been done through the chamber, hasn't it? I mean, hasn't the chamber been promoting fireworks and all of that? So.
Because we want them to come, but we're not really sure they want a ride.
Or we want to give them a ride.
Well, yeah.
I think that was part of the survey that I think over half of them said that transportation from Lazy E to here would be, that they would, respond well to that. But, the numbers that we're seeing, have seen so far haven't really reflected that, that answer in the survey. I don't know if
And
it's
how are
just
you
where
getting
people
those
are at.
numbers? They're signing up for this? Is that what?
Yeah. I get a report from if they sign up, so.
I'm like you.
And
I just wanted
I wasn't
people
sure which way to
really
go on
be here
this. I wanted to bring it
first.
before you because
Yeah.
I really wasn't sure.
It's hard to get them.
I really didn't have a
I'm with Mike.
recommendation
I don't
one way or
think
the
that-
other.
Well, I don't think
We
there's
need
gonna, if there's not gonna be anybody out there yet.
I think if they want to come to town, they'll drive to town. And there's no fireworks going on in any other surrounding community on that
that
evening. So
Saturday.
if they come in, if they're going anywhere for entertainment, they'll come here, I'm sure, for the fireworks as long as they know that it's going on. So as long as we're doing a good job of promoting that there is fireworks and live music and
Because Edmond, all their stuff starts on the 4th.
on the 4th.
Everybody
Crescent does theirs on the
Everybody is
4th.
the 4th.
So,
So I think if we were going to spend whatever this $385 or whatever it is, it'd be better spent on trying to promote the event than it would be to try to drive people to the event, my opinion.
actually, you know what, let me see. Because they have their Facebook page, Little Britches Facebook page is crazy activity. I I mean, they,
Well, if we provided them with some posts about our events that are going
Oh,
on,
I
would they be
think-
so kind to?
I
put
think
those
that's
on
what I was
there?
gonna look, I think they already have that stuff. Let me
Well, then
look.
I think we're golden.
I would rather see us, I guess, see us do a Facebook, and unfortunately, it's a little late, we don't have it on the agenda. But I would rather see us do another one of those Facebook giveaways and maybe get some tickets to Little Britches Rodeo and attach that to the website somehow. Like we did with Victorian Walk and 89ers and those kind of events. I'd rather see us, if we're gonna spend $300 on something,
I agree.
Yeah.
let's do something to bring them in town to go eat at Stables.
So Saturday at 5:30 on their page, they posted the graphic.
But
And
it's
it
not on the
says-
agenda, so
It says, checking in early, Guthrie Red Brick Nights is July 1st. Fireworks, food trucks, music, and family fun. Guthrie Chamber is offering transportation to town from the Lazy E. We need
Again,
a
this is
head,
on the chamber, not us.
we need a head count by Wednesday, June 21st. Click on the link to sign up for a ride.
By June 21st?
Oh, that's Wednesday.
Yeah, if they've only got one sign up, they're not gonna have enough.
Yeah, and that was Thursday. I don't know if they've, I mean,
it's
that's,
still there.
So I
so
think
that
that's a
was,
good point.
that was Saturday.
All right.
I would like to make a motion that we, at this time, decline to pay for the buses for Little Britches Rodeo to attend Red Brick Nights.
Okay, so this is all in favor of declining paying for the buses. Please say aye. Declining.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor of paying for the buses, please say aye.
I'm gonna say aye.
Just, I think we only had 3 votes.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked, but I don't hear many people voting.
Oh, you said aye for, oh, we had, okay.
3.
So we had 3 vote against it, or vote. You worded that up wrong. 3 saying no, that we don't. What did you say?
I'm abstaining.
He's abstaining, okay. Did you vote, Rolla?
No, but I think it's like a moot point. I don't think there's signups, so we won't be
Okay.
spending it anyway.
She don't want
There's
to.
no,
She don't want to hurt nobody's
So
feelings.
I wonder,
I'll say aye.
they get 12 people to sign up, who's gonna volunteer to go out and get them?
Well, I do
Well,
know that the
you know what I'm
chamber
saying?
has vehicles through Eskridge, I think, that they were working with for
Somebody
small
could
numbers.
go get them.
So,
Well, especially if it's advertised.
especially if
If
the
it's
chamber,
Advertised,
as the chamber providing it,
then
which
all of
I
a
didn't
sudden,
know on their
positive
website.
becomes a negative if we don't.
Yeah.
That's my only
Provide it.
hesitancy.
Chamber put their foot in their mouth, I'm sorry, by getting the permission from the school board before they came to us.
Well, the chamber may pay for it.
And I'd be happy to talk to them and suggest some ways to get it paid for so they didn't have to talk to anybody. I look at it as strictly a goodwill thing. And I didn't know the numbers, you know. I'm looking at more as an event as a whole in support. And, you know, if we split it $200 and the chamber took 200, I don't see that as a major deal. But I'll talk to the chamber. I'll do it.
So Saturday, though, was that post I just read, and then June 6th, there's another one. So, what's that, 13 days? The City of Guthrie is rolling out the red carpet. Click on the link to see the options, including free activities for the National Finals contestants. There's also a transportation form to get a ride into town for Red Brick Nights festivities, July 1st, and each day during the break all week. So that one says there's going to be a ride every day.
I think that's the Eskridge.
Yeah.
Oh, the
vehicles.
Eskridge,
I
okay.
think that's the Eskridge vehicles.
All right, discussion of possible action to recommend the purchase of approximately $1,300 in logo branded items. One item is a 1-ounce size chocolate bar mold from Rick's for $300, 1,000 stylus pens for $498, 500 printed glossy bags for $264, 600 die-cut glossy stickers for $232, and approximately $180 in non-branded promotional products, 240 small bottles of water at $30, 250 postcards for $140, and 350 mints for $8. I know that we needed some water immediately, so we've gotten some water. But I personally, like going forward, I do like the branded water. Like, you know, in emergency situations where we run low, run out, I think we can get non-branded, but how much, I mean...
I should have checked the cost on that, but I know that, I know it's significant. And I think, the thing I think with water, bottles of water is people just pitch it.
Throw them away.
Throw away.
Yeah, it's a single use, throw it away kind of thing.
But so is the chocolate bar.
Yeah, eat it and it's gone.
True. That is true.
Or it melts.
The chocolate bar is something that is locally produced.
Yeah.
And so my hope with that was to showcase something that's produced here. I mean, we're not bottling city water to say, hey, come try our product.
That would not
You know.
work in our favor.
So I'm just,
Well, I know at the 2 road shows that I've done, because you did licorice candy or something.
Well,
And so at the 2 road shows that I did, the chocolate bars, when they were handed out, they commented and, you know, your names on them. And
Yeah.
so, I mean,
Yeah.
it is a conversation piece
they are neat.
when you hand them
They
out.
really are.
So
What do they say?
If they don't melt.
This is
It's just Guthrie, it's just got that little
It's-
Guthrie.
it's
It's
the
got
little-
that thing right there on
Okay,
it.
that's what I.
currently the mold we have with them is our old logo, and they're the
Yeah,
big
that's what I'm
bars.
saying.
They're more expensive per bar, and to me, it's not that I don't want to give people a whole chocolate bar, but I know with a little one, we can do more, we can give out more, we can, I'd like to see us do more with what we've got.
I was a little frustrated at the McAllister thing because there were only 4 left, so I took them and I mean, for 4 days I kept them cool so they wouldn't melt. I put them in a backpack so they wouldn't melt on my way there, and I set them out, and the people that had other tables came and took them
Oh,
when I wasn't looking. I would
So
have to
since
take my car back.
You got to be vigilant.
You was in McAllister, those people in McAllister.
McAllister people was the other roadshow people, the guy from
Tulsa
Oklahoma City
guy.
and the girl from the Oklahoma film thing. No, I don't know who took them, but
They like chocolate.
yeah.
So
So
what is this stuff for? Is this
just
for our
promotional giveaways.
Yeah.
Just promotional.
Yeah, when we do
Yeah.
road shows and travel shows and media blitzes and.
I will tell you, the
But I think if
promotion, the promotional items, I had stickers, pins, the candy bars, I had all kinds of little stuff. I put them out there, they took them, but they would have taken a sucker, a dum-dum. Yeah, I mean, you could have easily gone a more inexpensive route with, for that particular thing. Now, for other places, maybe not, but for this one, it was just a bunch of kids and moms and dads, and they were just taking whatever was there. They would have been happy with a Tootsie Roll, you know what I'm saying?
I also get requests and calls for when people come to reunions. You know, I've had a couple already. Can we have packets for a reunion for our hotel? And in those, I have some samples I'm going to pass around. This is what I normally include. I have our map and information from local businesses. Depending on the season, I may have any goodies that are for events, which is very, very nice. I do a mint and a small bottle of water. So this goes into their hotel room or whatever organizer, and then usually the person who's in charge of booking it here, we do a bigger pack for them. So with this, I would, if I had a small chocolate bar, I might put that in there. You can pass that around and see. That keeps our costs for these kinds of things really low, so that as we go, we can.
Since we changed the logo, how many of the Guthrie Offbeat Oklahoma bags do we have?
Do we have left? I'm not 100% sure, but for the passport project with little britches, I was planning to stand out and put those as an option for prizes for turning in your filled out passport. So passport is in, they come to town, they get it stamped by local merchants, and then they can turn it back in at the table for a prize and to have their information or for a grand prize drawing. So.
I think that, I mean, if you probably went to any of those trade shows, though, I mean, if people had water, they have their labeled water. do
Oh,
they
yeah,
not?
oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, otherwise, I wouldn't even put water on the table.
Yeah.
If it's not loaded with water, I wouldn't even.
Well,
Put water at trade shows.
And here's the
you know.
thing, the trade show, not us, part of, but the event itself had water to give away, so they didn't want water from me, or any, you know, in the tourism part of it, they were given waters. I'll tell you when I get to my point at the end.
I get both of them.
So we're paying for the mold for the chocolate bar.
Correct.
So how are we paying for the chocolate bar?
I haven't put that in here yet. I wanted to know if I should have put that cost per bar in here. I know
It's probably a
But
dollar.
before, it's been coming out of marketing, hasn't it?
It has been. It's been out of marketing supplies. Sorry about that.
So the 1 ounce compared to the size that we have been traditionally using, how big is the one that we traditionally? Is it like 5 ounces?
Square one, right?
Yeah, they're
It just looks
It's
like a
rectangle.
candy
Yeah,
bar,
there's
like
the
a big
little
size
square
Hershey bar.
versus the
It's a
the
big
full-size
size Hershey bar, yeah.
I was just trying to
To visualize it.
visualize what the 1 ounce compared to what we had.
Well,
But-
it's bigger than,
Business card size?
yeah, I would say it's about business card size. That's
All
a
right.
good approximation,
Okay, good.
yeah. I would say it's about a
That gets
third
me
of
there.
a third to half of the
Partially
the big
from
bar.
Missouri, so I got it.
Probably less
No,
than
it's
$1 to, surely less than $1 probably.
I want to say they're around $1 or maybe $1.50, but I know it's at least $1 or $2 more for the large bars. I have those numbers.
Is it cheaper for us to buy them in bulk from them?
I think it's really the same.
Retail.
It's the same per bar. So, if we don't get a discount for ordering 500 versus 100 or 50. It's the prices per bar.
So all these things you want to order, will they have the new logo on them, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
the
except for that
pins,
bottom
the
line.
glossy bags, and the stickers.
Except for from right here.
The non, yeah.
Yeah.
The non-brand, yeah. Okay.
We can revisit this next meeting if you want me to.
I'll tell you what, who
I can
has
get
lots
more
of water, you know who
information
can give you
and
water next time? Go to the banks. Bank First, they got a vault full of it. I mean, the bank's got tons of water. I'd go to the banks.
Or even
Mercy will.
Mercy will.
Mercy
Yeah.
will too.
Or else we-
Because I'd rather promote a
Other- yeah.
local businesses or banks or
Yeah.
and then Ozarka.
Then bottled water.
Yeah. And they'll give it, I mean,
Okay.
if you tell them what we're doing with it, I'm sure most of them would be,
That's what I do, I buy Hershey bars, make my own crap around it.
so.
I go to cheap.
Okay. Do you have any other discussion? So we're buying a mold, we're getting some stylus pens, some glossy bags, some stickers, and then some non-branded water mints and postcards. Well, what are the postcards if they're non-branded?
Oh, well, I guess those would be branded. They're going to be local pictures. I wanted to include those in the reunion packets too, so the people who are here who experience this place could send it back to others.
It's just like buying postcards that have already been printed with Guthrie on them.
Exactly,
Guthrie
yeah.
postcards.
It's not something
Yeah.
that I'm going and
Together,
putting our
right.
logo on. I could buy it from local people
Yeah.
who create postcards with our images. So that's what I mean by non-branded. They're not something I'm producing.
It's got Guthrie on it, just doesn't have
The logo.
the logo.
Yeah.
All right, any more discussion on those? Are you clear on what is everyone clear? All right, so do I have a motion?
I would make the motion.
We have a second. Full second. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of purchasing the recommended promotional items? All in favor say aye. Aye. All not in favor. Motion carries. All right, report on social media pages.
I was getting numbers for Andrea because we had been talking about taking the city page, making the new city page, so I was getting numbers for that. Until this, I only printed 3 of them because it's kind of long, but there's in the center of the table. This is the month of May of what the city's Facebook page produces and the numbers that come and go to it for that. I did a more intense number counting for Leroy. So that's that. I think I'll do that every month so you guys can have it and see what the Facebook page is doing and generating.
So on May 19th, what did we post that generated so much additional audience growth? Do we know what we posted about?
No.
But we have the technology.
Graduation night.
What's that?
I
don't know, because the post, it just says top posts engaged, they're from May 26th, May 8th, and May 10th.
I can tell you.
And this says essentially May 19th was our largest audience growth night.
It's graduation night.
Well,
in
you'll-
Guthrie.
Down,
Yeah, but what would we be posting that would create City of Guthrie
When is this?
growth
May
on our
26th.
Facebook?
May 8th, May 10th.
Well, Aaron was out there taking pictures, maybe he posted some.
no.
The artist showcase, wasn't it? Should be Gordon.
I don't know. So but our total posting was actually down, right?
May 19th.
62.5%.
Friday night.
Well, it has to be over a few days,
Well, it's the,
because there's nothing posted on the actual 19th.
That's our biggest night though.
So,
That was the biggest night.
I know it.
so, but,
That's-
I mean, on May 12th, he posted the internship video from Favor on the 12th. And then on the 22nd,
we lost viewers that day.
on the 22nd was the artist showcase.
That's better. That's
So
what it
you're
was,
looking
but I
at the
watched
audience
that. That was
growth?
good.
Uh-huh.
And is that 20 total likes? Is that what that is?
So we got additional, well, probably 19, because it's not
Yeah.
quite the 20.
But I'm
So
saying
we got 19
that's-
additional
that's-
that day. We lost,
Uh,
looks
Yeah.
like 3 or 4
Yeah.
on the 18th. And then
Chris was out there.
on the 19th, we lost 2, but we gained
And I don't know
19.
if he tied into you on that, but James, May 19th is graduation of Lazy Eve. Chris was out there taping that thing live.
But that's on his page though.
But if he tied it in the City of Guthrie, people would have been, I mean, I'm just saying that's what was going
Because
on
of
that
that,
night.
I see that.
Was it on TV 20?
I don't know, I don't think so, but I mean, he was out there, there were a ton of people out there.
But see, that's likes though. People have liked our page.
Right.
So that doesn't have to technically do anything with posting.
Well, no, but most people aren't going to go like something unless they saw a post.
Right.
I mean, I'm just not searching
Because
for
you're-
City of Dewey. I think I'm going to go like their page today.
Well, I mean, if
Oh.
what Chris posted, they could have posted, I mean.
Yeah. Because your impressions and your engagement, because like on the 24th, you have almost 100 people engaging on the 24th.
Right.
So and that would have been the
I saw
artist
you on
showcase.
Facebook, and I'm here because of a Facebook post, you never know.
We'll
Just,
see if we were tagged in something.
So,
it's one of those things, you gotta do it, but you can't prove any kind of confirmation.
and then, well, not really. I mean, I'll wait till 13. So. I have more
Okay.
numbers, but they go on.
So people were, top post by engagement was the smallest national park,
Yeah,
redneck metal art and design.
yeah.
Second one comes in tie, I guess, with, well, actually probably more so because it has more comments, is the municipal pool being open for the season and tagging the YMCA.
And then me going to Ponca City, because there's that chocolate bar.
I met the young man, their tourism guy. Yeah, cute.
Do we have an idea of like preparing posts to just go out there? You know, we've got posts lined up to just go to post automatically. You know what
I do, yeah. I mean, I just have just generic stuff. I mean, I don't know, call it generic, but like
How
I've got-
often do we have them? How often do we have things posting in regards to CBB
Well,
functions?
CVB wise, I'm trying to do something every week
Okay.
of something different, CVB-ish. But, you know, on this page, there's stuff, I mean, there's probably 3 or 4 things going a week because of all the, you know, like, all the city stuff, so.
We don't have a formalized schedule,
Yeah.
but we
I mean,
have goals. It's something I've looked into creating, but
It's time consuming.
it is time consuming.
Yeah. I mean, I can create one. I mean,
Okay.
I have 5 other entities that I post for, and I can create a plan just like I do for them. It's easy and quick, and so.
Okay.
But as of right now, I'm starting to plan something for every week, CVB wise.
Do we have, I think, is it Who's Who? There's a app or site that will give you your analytics to tell you what day of the week you generate your most traffic, which time of day you generate your
I
most
use
traffic.
CoSchedule,
Okay.
and that tells you like your best times to post and all of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what, if we need more than once a week or,
I would say probably.
I mean, I would.
But I think until we really figure out the analytics of CVB, because when you look at the analytics, it's not gonna just be CVB analytics.
Right.
So you're gonna see when everybody else is also seeing on the page. So I would say as of right now, you probably do need more than once a week. But I don't know if that's because it's people looking to come to town or people looking when the pool is open. So.
Okay. Any other info on, everybody got a chance to see that?
Thanks for your research, Chief.
You're welcome.
All right, discussion. Well, what's this?
That's in 13. I mean, if we want to go on down there, I mean, that's staff comments.
Okay, all right, so discussion of future items. Any future items?
Are we gonna see a preliminary budget by July?
I'll start
Right?
working
Or is
on
it just
that.
gonna be pretty straightforward?
Trying to remember when my first budget meeting is. I know it's coming up. So I believe so. Yeah. I can do that. I also know that I'll have the Guthrie Escape application for event support. And I believe I'll have one more. There's another group that's doing, I think, a rodeo-related event. I think it's Miniature Bull Riders Association.
Yeah!
So,
We're at Lazy E or
The
here?
writer's bit?
it is at
Minute to the
Lazy E.
bulls, really.
Which one's miniature?
The bull.
Surely it's
Okay.
Surely both.
I think that's a discussion, I mean, I think we've talked about it before, but it just seems like such a gray area of double dipping. I mean, I know we sponsored the Lazy E, or we give money to the Lazy E, and then we go and sponsor all these little events, or not little, but each events that go on
I
Lazy
think
E.
that's a
I mean,
big,
it's
big
like,
topic of conversation when we come to our budget. And
well,
our-
I mean,
and
how
our
much money do we
special
want to
events.
spend at the Lazy E? I mean, especially when, don't get me wrong, I mean, we need to spend money out there because that's the only way to draw those people into town. We've got an obligation. If we're going to get them here, we've got to spend money. But at the same time, I mean, we know other communities are throwing money at them as well. We probably can't win them all. So do we pick, I mean, do we need to, I just think that's a topic of discussion to figure out how much money do we throw to events that are actually held outside of city limits.
Yeah.
Well, see, the Lazy is one, okay, and then these other ones like Chris Meal, Little Bridges, those are separate contracts, which really, all they're doing is contracting with Lazy E to have their event there. So
I
that's
get
it.
that,
That's
but I'm
what
saying,
he's
if we're
saying.
paying enough to
Yeah,
Lazy
but
E,
that's
that
what
we've
it
got
is.
banners already at Lazy E that are there at Lazy all the time that direct people to Guthrie. If we would invest the money in just permanent signage that goes with Lazy E,
But
rather
that's what
than,
we're doing anyway. We've got a billboard out there.
Yeah,
We got one.
But he's saying the
So do
money
we-
we're giving to all these small places, put that into more advertising.
so if all they see are things to do in Guthrie, whether they're not, we may not have to be throwing money at all these little, not little, but each individual event. I mean, would that be better spent?
Oh, definitely.
Is what I'm curious of. I mean, if they go out there, they don't see any billboard from Edmond because they're all from Guthrie. as a spectator, I was thinking, man, there's a lot to do in Guthrie. Look, I mean, they've got a lot of billboards out here.
But it needs to not be GuthrieOK.com. It needs to be Red Brick
Something
Nights or
specific.
something specific. But yeah, you're right. It's an
But then
important
we don't
topic
have
of
the budget to
conversation.
do that because it has to be cost effective.
That's why it's a conversation when we get to our
That's what I'm
preliminary
saying.
budgets.
Well, what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, you know, we wouldn't be out.
Because otherwise, I mean, it just seems like, and maybe we're not, but then my feeling is we're being nickeled and
I
dimed
think-
for every
And I
little.
think the word is getting out there.
Yeah, so every cowboy that brings something to town is looking to see if we'll help give them some money.
One of the things I've thought about, one of the things I am trying to research is on our funding support. What are other towns doing, and could we do something where to make it more sustainable, where maybe an event can only apply for 3 years in a row? A graduated tiers are down. After that, they could apply for a sponsorship, and we would get the benefits of sponsorship, kind of like we do with Bluegrass. We get tickets and a few things. That we then could even turn around and use in social media giveaways to drive traffic or whatever. That's an idea that I'm having. I'm trying to do research on it to see if it's a valid idea and how to do it well. So is that something that might help kind of curb that if an event could only apply for funding for, the first 3 years, and they have to prove that they're generating hotel stays and
Yeah,
tax
but see, that
impact.
was, when I went on the media blitz, I talked to Norman and Stillwater quite a bit about how they do their funding, or Norman calls them grants. Their number one criteria, both towns, is you have to prove that you're generating heads and beds. If you don't generate heads and beds, then you don't get any funding. That was their main, because that's where the money's coming from. And so that's how they look at it, as
Which two towns, Norman and who?
Norman and Stillwater.
Are you sure about that? Because I could have swear Stillwater, I saw the last, they also count feet on streets.
Well, that's, I don't know if that's new, or, I mean, that was what they told me their number one criteria for giving money.
Number one, it's not the only.
Yeah, it's the number one criteria, that if you can't, if you're just a one-day event, nobody's gonna spend the night, they're not gonna give you any money. But if you're, the calf guy, rodeo, and you can prove that you're gonna have, I don't know the logistics, 30 hotel rooms or whatever, then they'll consider giving you money. So I don't know if that's something that, we'd wanna be more stickler on, or, but.
I think we'd be open to listening to anything on there. So
Okay.
if you can put together or get some additional feedback from communities if they have a term limit or a graduated
Okay.
level of commitment.
And then did you say you were gonna get back to us with, or try to, with like what the star calf roping, as far as what the hotels were like for that weekend, or?
Mm-hmm. I've already asked several, and I haven't got a lot of clear responses from hotels, to be honest. So I said, how was your occupancy that weekend? How many of those were related to room? Oh, we had a few rooms, So I'm not getting a lot of specifics from them, but I'm still introducing to myself. I've got 2 or 3 of them that won't even call me back. So I don't know what that is. I'm trying. I'm
Call her
working on it.
back.
I walked through his.
She doesn't call, she just shows up.
Yeah, no, it's true.
That's right.
Okay, we should get that waffle.
Okay, any other future items? So you got a few. Okay. All right, staff comments.
Okay, sorry. Went to the Oklahoma Travel Industry Association's tourism conference. Thank you for letting me go to that. That was really, really beneficial. I attended a lot of different things on, marketing and branding strategies, and focus and that kind of thing. Got a report on state legislation, international tourism, digital tools to help you do a better job. And then, of course, Red Bud Awards, which I think you all know we got Merit Award for Red Brick Nights. So then also this National Little Britches Rodeo Passport Project, which I'll pass this around. This is something I worked on with the help of Heath, extensive help of Heath. Basically, each one of the participants who registers for National Little Britches Rodeo, which we created that in-house, gets one of those cards in their packet. And I talked with Leroy about it, and we're going to get a $100 gift card to Tractor Supply and give that away when someone will come and collect those. We have a table at Lazy E for Little Britches Rodeo, and the chamber is getting volunteers to staff that. I'm going to be there a little bit. I'm probably going to ask Keith if he can be there for a little bit. And they'll accept cards that are filled out, all 6 spaces. We'll need a signature stamp, or I think it's a stamp from one of the businesses listed on the back. If they have a full card, they can turn it in for a small prize. Things might be like this blue bag and some of our other branded items. I'm also planning to get bulk bandanas, and maybe some of the little toy giveaways where kids can pick out what they want, and then we'll do a drawing after the end of the event for the Tractor Supply card. What I'm trying to do through that, since each of the businesses have a different stamp, or will, is seeing where they're visiting in town, when they come here. If there's any pattern to that, I'm trying to incentivize getting them here and checking in with us and giving us their information, so that we know kind of people who came to Guthrie in a rodeo circuit. So it's kind of an attempt to measure some impact and give some incentive for people to visit. So
Now that's going in the registration package?
that's going in everybody who registers, will get one of those cards. So Ginger was supposed to come pick them up today. They're making the packets, but she was sick, so.
Are these people the ones that pay for advertising?
No, they're just people who agreed to participate. So we had a list of something like 50 businesses that Heath went and called and said, would you be a part of this, and do you have a stamp, and if you don't, we'll provide you with one. So printing costs and the gift certificate are the main expenses that were out for that. I know I just got our printing rates. It's pretty cheap for us to print those quarter-page things, so less than a penny. So anyway, stamps won't be very expensive, but hopefully it's something fun they can come into town and do and get us some information. Tourism website, that's the other thing. I've been working with the chamber to get GuthrieOK.com. Their board approved the release, but nobody has the password to log in, and they've been looking for that and looking for that. At this point, the other domain is I think it's in danger of expiring because it's unpaid. And so if you try to go to GuthrieOK.com right now, you get a redirect, or not even a redirect notice, it doesn't come up. But they've assured me that they're finding that and they will have it to me. I know that there may be, I don't know what the cost is involved in changing that over, because I don't have the costs from them since they own it. I know Wix charges a fee which is our current web host, for incorporating that domain name, but I don't think it's more than a couple $100. So we'll go there once we can, and I've got some designs started on the back end. I just need to get permission for use of some photos. So that's what's holding me up from doing any publishing on that yet. But that's where we stand on that. So, and I approached the city manager about seeing if the city's Facebook website could be turned over to tourism, and he said, well, what are the number? He asked me, would you do it? And I said, well, I ought to see what people are visiting, if they are locals or if they are people outside of this area, and Heath has those numbers.
I'm going to share them?
Yeah, I guess so.
So we have 6, actually that's this packet. Since you guys have it, I'll do it first. These are red brick night numbers. So you have, the first pages are last year that I got from Jason. So June, July, August. And he sent me September, but we didn't do a red brick nights in September, did we? Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
No,
It was
October.
October.
Not
Yeah.
October. Okay. So the first 3 are last year, and then your next 2, or your next one is May, so our first one, and then, which goes along with the graph. He sent me a graph for May, and then June. You don't have any?
Well, I've got July through September, and then I have this piece here. but
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
yeah. You should have just this for June. There's not a big list for June. Or it's on the back. Yours printed front and back, sorry. It's on the back of that. So this is just June. So those are your numbers. And so I asked him if he would send me something for each month, just so we'll have it. So I can share those with you guys, so you guys can see the traffic and everything. And like at the bottom of the graph, he kind of explained your time. It's, they have to be within one of the Wi-Fi access points within 40 feet for at least 5 minutes, and then it counts you. So, if you're just walking by and heading out or something, it's not going to get you. But you got to be within 40 feet for at least 5 minutes, and then it counts you on the scale. So.
Well, I appreciate the
Interesting.
numbers. Yeah, it is
I like
very
those.
interesting.
So compared to our main numbers, our 4th of July weekend's like a third more people downtown.
For July
From last
16th.
year.
Compared to last year, yeah.
Just for
So if we get the same kind of crowd this year,
Well, no, July is not going to be accurate because from last year.
Right.
The reason why is because
They were
so many
everywhere.
so many people were pinging it, it kept going down. I mean, it couldn't keep
Well,
up.
well, and still too though, you had people parked everywhere.
Well, true.
Watching
true
the
that. I mean, we had
fireworks,
oh,
the same amount, but he kept having to reset it. I mean, it just
They
was
gotta be within 40 feet of the tower.
too many people.
Right. So like people that were parked all the way down by Ace watching the fireworks, they're not going to be counted as somebody at the fireworks show. So really, your numbers are going to be bigger than what was actually counted. One, because
okay.
I just remember that discussion from last year.
So the access points were just local
they're
streets?
they're on each corner of the block around the stage.
So just 2 access points?
No, there's 4.
But if you,
There's 4.
take the 4th of July out, if you look at September last year, the last one we had,
Was
versus the first one we had,
Right.
it's way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to me,
And
that's
that
what
was
says it all, is
Labor-
the last one to the
Yeah.
first one.
And that's Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Yes,
but-
it was.
So you can see
And it will
growth,
be again.
just see growth from the last one we had.
Well, even just May to June of this year, you can see.
Can you? I
You
don't
know,
have June's for some reason.
Well, it's on the back of your graph.
Oh,
It's just, he just gave me
Oh.
numbers. He didn't give me the whole
Okay.
readout.
okay.
He just gave me numbers. So even from 1 to 2 this year, there's been growth, so. But here, these are just some of the numbers. I did local versus non-local on Facebook to see if it was worth, 'cause I think Leroy's question was if most of our people that are going to our Facebook page are local people, then there's no reason to change it. If they're non-local, then there might be a reason to talk about changing it over as a tourism. Just your grand totals, we have 6,041 likes, and out of those, 5,800. You don't have this. Sorry, I didn't think about printing it out because I just did this for Leroy and I didn't think about
so
sharing.
say it again.
All right, so total likes, you have 6,041. But out of those 6,041, 5,863 actually follow the page. They get updates and check it and look at the page on a regular basis. So, and then Oh, and I didn't put my percentages on this one. I remember it was like 60% of the people, I don't remember that, I don't know. I know it was a lot, it was more than half of the people are non-local followers.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't
Really?
remember, or actually, let me see. I may have the updated one on my phone. Because this one I printed out as I was working on it, so. Yes, okay, here I got it. So 27% of the followers are local. 27.46%. Or sorry, of the people that like the page, those are likes, are local. 28.30% follow the page are local. So
Means the majority of the people
majority of the people that like and follow our page are non-local people. So, and then as far as reaches, we have 7,500 that when we post something it reaches them are local, and 11,900 are non-local. And then people that actually engaged, now this is, the engagement is just May. So 108 people clicked, liked, shared, commented on something the month of May. 108 of them were local. And 176 of them were non-local.
That's encouraging.
So the 6,041 likes, that's forever?
Yes.
On Facebook?
That's up till now. Yeah, that's how many people have liked our page from when it was started till now.
And when was it started?
I have to go back and look. I don't know.
2 years?
Years.
No, it was done prior to Mumford and Sons. Most of these
Okay.
likes came through because of
Most,
Middle of the Road.
most of
And
your
that's how we
6,000
generated.
were Mumford and Son people.
Okay.
So,
But they're still seeing stuff.
yeah. Because what did I say? 5,800 of them physically follow us.
Follow it.
I mean, see something on a monthly basis. So
And local is what area?
local is just Guthrie.
Okay. Not Logan County, just Guthrie.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't give me. Well, I guess I could break it out because it lists Crescent. Yeah, I mean I could break it out for the county. I could get that number. But as far as local versus non-local, I just did Guthrie versus surrounding everywhere else. So
There's a lot of people that live between here and the county line. I
yeah.
don't know whether you classify those as local or not.
Yeah, but our biggest like group is Oklahoma City. Is where after Guthrie has 1,659, and then our next biggest is Oklahoma City with 1,188. So there's almost as many people in Oklahoma City that follow and like our page than there is in Guthrie. So.
So is that by zip code or what?
It's by town. It lists it by town, so I don't know. I would say not
Well-
zip code because Oklahoma City has more than one zip code. So
No, but Facebook dials in, they know what your
They
zip
know
codes
all-
are.
right, they do,
Yeah, they
but
have
these
those.
numbers aren't zip code. It's just town. So yeah, we could look up zip code if we wanted to.
It's kind of a random thing, and just because I don't know, could it be that they are locals who work in Oklahoma City and check in from that location? Would that skew the numbers? 'Cause I didn't know if it does it by IP address and where that logs in, or if it's, you self-report where you are.
I don't know how it pulls into numbers because
But that's a very good thought. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Well,
a
but
lot of people
when you sign up for
care if they work.
Facebook, do you put
type
in your
in your
address?
Yeah.
Yeah, you put in your address.
It's in your
So I'm going to
post,
say it
okay.
goes
It probably
off of
doesn't
your
address.
sign up.
Well, that's a relief.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
Not
afraid
like you.
of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it goes off your sign up because you have to put that stuff in to sign up for a Facebook account. So, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Good numbers.
Thanks again.
You're welcome. And like, I mean, I just thought that like the people that are reached, our target audience is women between the ages of 25 to 34, have a high potential of seeing our content on our page. So out of the people that were reached for this section.
I think though, if you look at Facebook in general of all, women is the highest.
Well, because
You're just looking at age groups, you're not.
right, because on
looking
each
at
section
sex,
it's women, because like our
Always
fan,
up higher.
our fan base is women between 35 and 44 is our biggest group of fans. So.
Okay.
Thanks again.
Yep.
You're welcome.
All right, board comments. McAllister Roadshow.
I went on June the 8th to the McAllister Army Ammunitions Plant. They were having what they call a Founders Day for their employees, about 500 employees at this plant. It is huge, huge. It was
500
at least,
were at the event or 500 employees?
I think about 500 employees.
Total? There's 1,800 employees out there.
Well, then somebody gave me the wrong information.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 500 people there.
Well,
Because I asked how many people were employed there.
some of them are counted by different entities,
Well,
host entities.
According to the person I talked to, well, it was the guy that drove the bus,
think we need to
because we
check.
had to take a bus to get there.
There's 1,800 employees out the base.
No,
We
well,
count all the entities.
it's
Pulled
under
it
the
off.
Department
That guy
of
right there, I think, might
Defense,
have got
but
the
they only have
chocolate bar.
one Army personnel there. They're actually, their CO is the only guy in uniform, according to this guy that works there.
That is correct.
Yeah. Anyway, nonetheless, there were lots of people there. And I probably talked to about, maybe 300, 200 or 300 employees. Most of them had never heard of Guthrie.
You're kidding.
Well, it's not central, that's south. I mean, it's a 2.5 hour little trip to get there. And they have a lot, it's Eufaula, they have a lot of tourism around there. So, anyway, so I just threw out the Oklahoma history, the first, weren't you guys the first capital? So I talked a little bit about history. A few of them had been here. I got to talk to a few people. Several people had been to the Pollard. I talked to several teachers whose husbands worked there, and they brought their students to the Pollard. And McAllister has a Masonic temple, and it's as beautiful. It's not as big as ours, but it's as beautiful. It's very pretty. So a lot of them had been to the temple here. So the Pollard and the temple were the two things that if they'd been to Guthrie, that's what they'd done. I gave out everything I had. There were still some little rat cards and stuff from the individual businesses, but I'll tell you what I did. As they came through and I was talking to them, I kind of could tell pretty good read on people what they were doing, if they wanted to shop or do antiques or boutiques, or if it was sports or what it was, family, whatever. I just look at a couple of women and go, I bet you antique shop. And so we talked antiques. And Cherie had sent a package of individual licorices. So, what's that? And I told them it's black licorice. If you don't like licorice, don't take it because you won't like it. It's the legit stuff. So they take it. Oh, that's so good. So I hand them one of the cards, going, if you like licorice, you're gonna want this card because you're gonna want more. They took the Pollard information. They took Treasures and Books had rat cards. They took those specific things from the specific store. So if you can impress upon your merchants the importance of that at these road shows, that's what people like to see. Yeah, they took the Guthrie guides. They'd open them up before they get them. Is there a map? They wanted to know if there was a map. Several of them ask about what are there things to do for kids. So drive-in, the Y, bowling, I'm trying to think of these things. The promotional items here again. For this particular event, they took what I had, but I think like I said, Tootsie Pops.
See, the other two we've done, it was just employees.
Yeah.
There were, maybe a few of the guys may have brought
These
their
were
wives.
families,
Yeah,
kids,
see, we didn't
everything.
we didn't have any kids at the other two
Yeah.
we've done.
And they were there, it was just they were feeding them lunch, they gave them free meals,
Yeah.
they had carnival rides, they had, it was a big
It
deal.
was in the park or something? Or in
It
the
was on
ground?
it was on their
The grounds.
their facility, and it's like, this place is just acres and acres and acres, and the place where we were
Picnic
was huge, just like being at Liberty Lake. It was huge. They had a lake with all kinds of stuff.
45,000 acres.
It's huge. It was impressive, I'll tell you that. So thank you for allowing me to go, and I really enjoyed myself. It's hard work, but because you do talk, you have to be on and you talk, and you know me, I don't have a problem doing that. But it was. It's hard to say if they'll ever get here, but at least we were there.
Yeah,
Some good there was probably about 8 other tables. It was Ponca City and the Oklahoma City Film Group. Not the Frontier Group, but the one that's south that has Broken Bow in that area.
Oh,
That
yeah.
they were there.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Anyway, there was about 8 others. Wasn't a huge representation of, but there was just me. Guthrie and Ponca City were the only actual towns. Everybody else was a
That's good.
group
An
of
entity.
something, an entity of something. Yeah.
Well, for our city manager and our mayor who's here with us, hearing that they're asking about kids' activities, I think it's important to understand the importance of our pool improvements
Yes.
when
Well,
we're ready to do that.
and I also
that it be of
yes,
stature.
but I also think
Does
that
that include
needs to
sports
be.
facilities? Or
That
Yes,
too.
absolutely.
That too.
Okay, 'cause
This
we are
little-
working on
This
Okay.
Destination Guthrie, or whatever we call this thing, that if we're gonna redo
Brochure.
something like this, map's important, but I think there ought to be something on here, kids, something, what
A
will
list
your
of
kids
kids
do?
stuff. Yeah.
And even if it's going to get ice cream at Stacy's,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Kids
it
and
needs to have a
adults.
kids section.
Kids
It's
and
what I
adults.
took away from
That's-
that. So,
Calm down.
anyway.
Nobody asked about disc golf, huh?
I told them about it though, when you bet I did.
Good.
I told them about our parks, our pavilions, the disc, you bet I did.
Good.
I can talk Guthrie, man. I'm an ambassador,
They're fun to go on.
yeah.
I don't know if anybody saw that we were written up in the Edmond Sun also in the Saturday's paper about Red Brick Nights. So
Oh, very cool, very nice.
we were in their entertainment area. What's going on?
Did
For
Karen
July
have
1st.
anything to do with that since she came from the Edmond Sun?
Who?
Our news leader,
New publisher.
new publisher.
I don't know necessarily her. It was Nick. I can't think of his last name. That is the one that actually contacted me.
I didn't know if she might have had anything to do with it.
I have no idea. But it was.
The article in the Oklahoman about various 4th of July events didn't
Yeah, I
have
saw.
anything, but I think because we're a couple days off, I think maybe they were more focusing on what's really happening on the 4th of July, but
I read.
I was kind of hoping we would get some
I was
notation.
looking on
there.
something, and it had a list of things, and we were on there. I don't know if it was on the Travel OK or it, but I saw somewhere that we were the only ones on that Saturday. So that's a real plug
I think
to
so
get
too.
people here.
Any other board comments?
Well, these are back, I forgot staff comments. Jerry Casey gave me this. This is the Rodeo News. And this has 2 ads that he had purchased. I'll pass it around. But one's for camps that he's doing on July 1st. So for the people that are here, for Little Britches. And then a Red Brick Night one, talking about everything that's going on for Red Brick Nights. So I'll pass that around. And then Aaron sent me a message confirming we did not post anything about graduation or there.
Yeah.
And so he's saying that probably those numbers are from the artist showcase that was posted. It had 2,700 views and it reached over 6,000 people.
It was very, very well done.
Yeah.
It was very good. On Glenda, the
Yeah.
class. Yeah, it was
Because I think the graduation was just streamed live on
Chris.
yeah.
Any other board comments?
Oh, see, can you get Wicked Hanger Hamburger up here for their food truck for 4th of July?
I don't know if we can or not. Who is it?
I don't know who they are, but they had the longest line out of Lazy E. Saturday afternoon. They were called Wicked Hanger Hamburgers. And they had to be about 25 or 30 deep.
Oh, at that vintage.
At the vintage thing. Nobody, all the other food trucks were okay. They had a couple people. The funnel cakes was, of course, but that just, I had to go around and go, okay. I wasn't going to wait for a hamburger that long, but it looked like people knew who they were.
They're obviously wicked.